You're okay? Yes. I thought I had the best position sitting at the side. I was going to like, call the tricks, but I didn't, unfortunately. Well, fika break and magic's over. We're going back to swearing and new insights. What the fuck has logistics to do with e-commerce? The very best person in this country, I would say, to answer that question is actually our next guest on stage. Dan Crewe is the e-commerce manager at DHL Logistics, and being a podcaster myself for Säkerhetspodden, I'm very excited to see that Dan also jumped on the podcasting bandwagon recently. They launched the DHL Living Room, a new podcast series on exploring basically the customer journey. Also, they already stole one of our dream guests from Säkerhetspodden, Bengt Westborg, for one of their episodes. Well done, Dan. Welcome on stage.
Now I know why there was no program presented beforehand. Because if you'd have known that we were going to talk logistics, I'd have been talking to myself. So thank you for coming back. Most appreciated. And we'll see how many are left when I've finished. So who am I? Who am I? Well, a lot of people make some mistakes. I have a little bit of an identity crisis. So I just thought I'd explain more about who I'm not. Okay? I get mistaken for him, and I actually think it's to do with my height rather than anything else. I also get mistaken for him. I'd like to think it's because of my good looks, but I think it's more to do with my facial fungus. And then when I dress up and dress nicely, I get mistaken for him. But I'm none of them. That's actually me. And my job is to look after all of DHL Express's e-commerce customers and to help them grow. And I do that with a fantastic team that are here today and will willingly talk to you if you're interested. So what am I going to talk about? Now, logistics, not the most exciting thing. Moving a package from A to B, not very sexy, but it is. I promise you it is. And by the end of this, we will learn a bit more about what logistics should be to you as a merchant. Like Paul, I'm from the UK, and swearing in public is not something we do. So I've already apologized to my mum that I'm going to swear, and I've also apologized to my priest that I'm going to swear. So what the fuck has logistics got to do with e-commerce, really? Well, a lot. Believe it or not, a lot. I'm sorry to disappoint you, okay? There's just one thing I need to get straight, because DHL's a pretty big company. I'm not going to stand here and give you a DHL pitch for long. Talking of sexiness, I work for the sexy side of DHL, not the lorries you get stuck behind on the E4 or E6 or wherever. We're up in the air, sexy aeroplanes. Sexy? Yeah? Agree? Yeah? That's what I do. That's who I work for. We move things internationally. But I'm not going to talk about that. And I'm not going to talk about all the wonderful things we're doing to make last mile more environmentally friendly, because that would bore you to death. And I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to talk about any of those. I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to actually challenge you as a merchant. And I know you'll like challenges, and you've had some challenges, and we talked about some stuff already. But I'm going to challenge you in two areas. Okay? Now, the first area is quite simple. You might have the most fantastic website, the most brilliant web shop. Yeah, we've seen some examples. It might be the most gorgeous, headless, seamless, legless, armless web shop. Okay? It might work on every single telephone under the sun and be absolutely fantastic. It might work on every single iPad that has ever been invented and that's going to come, and look lovely. You might have the most fantastic product. Okay? Bengt will be wearing these later on. You might have the most fantastic product. It might be beautiful, and you must think, oh, it's my life's work, it's my dream. And you might have the most fantastic social media presence that makes Kim Kardashian look like a rank amateur. Yeah? Problem is, do you know what your delivery really looks like? Because if it looks something like this Q film, we have a bit of a problem. We have a bit of a problem. Film. Film.
We're going downtown. What do you want?
HDS, sir. And how are you this afternoon? All righty then. I have a package for you.
Sounds broken.
Most likely, sir. I'll bet it was something nice, though.
I love that last bit. I bet it was something nice, though. Now, why is that important? Well, according to a recent study by MetaPack, 1 in 4 of your customers doesn't come back if they're unhappy with the delivery. They don't tell you they're not coming back. They won't put it out on Trustpilot or anything like that. They just simply don't come back. Silence. Now, as you see, I don't use any notes, but I'm crap at maths. Sorry, Mum, again, for swearing. So I've done a little calculation, okay? E-commerce, 365 days a year business. If you lose 4 customers a day who don't come back, okay, so you've only got 10 customers, I'm sure you've got more than that, but that would be 1,460 customers that don't come back. If you've got a shopping cart value of 500 kroner, that's 730,000 kroner a year that doesn't come back. And as we all know, returning customers spend more money, and roughly 35% more money. That means you're losing 985,500 kroner if you've only got 10 customers a day. All because you're not checking your delivery. Yeah? So delivery is pretty important. Logistics is pretty important. So you want to avoid this, and that's my first challenge to you. My first challenge to you is to audit your carriers. Sticking my neck out, my colleagues in the branch are going to hate me because I want you to visit them. I want you to go to their premises, see how they represent your brand, see how they look after your product. What happens if it goes wrong? What happens if things don't work? Do they just stand there and go, or do they actually do something about it? How do they treat their couriers? How do they treat the drivers? Do they represent your brand? So challenge your carrier, regardless of who it is, even us. If you use us, please come and visit us. Yeah? Come and see how it works. Because they are representing your brand out to your customers and potentially costing you around £1 million a year if you've only got 10 customers, which I'm sure you've got more. Okay? So that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is based on a new metric. We love metrics. We love KPIs. I work for DHL. The only thing we don't measure at the moment is how many times we breathe per day. But it's coming. Okay, so you'll see a whole load of DHL people with these big masks around their heads, just measuring how many times we breathe, all right? Don't be worried. I would like you to introduce, well, I'd like to introduce to you something called Rosie. Rosie's my dog at home, so she's inspired me to this. So Rosie stands for Return on Shipping Investment. Now, you guys, you measure return on marketing investment. You measure the return on product development. You measure everything. But I can guess that if I asked everyone here that's a merchant whether you measure the effect of shipping on your business, stick my neck out again, you'll say, no, we don't. We just fixed it and it works, we think. You invest in shipping. And shipping is a critical element of your business. As I said earlier, you might have the most fantastic product, you might have the most fantastic website, be a social media superstar, and then you're let down by your delivery. So your delivery is not costing you just, what we invoice you for, it's also costing you customers if it's wrong. So start measuring your investment in shipping. If you've got 4 different solutions, shipping solutions to your customers, measure the effect of each one. Which one generates the most money? Which one gets customers coming back again? If you've got express shipping, for example, how much more does a customer spend? We know from our research that they spend a lot more. They spend up to 60% more when they choose express. And here I can use my wife as an example. She buys from Zalando. She starts out looking for a blouse. Blouse, how 1970s is that? And then she looks for a pair of slacks. For me, we'll stick with the 70s. Pair of slacks. She'll look for a pair of trousers. Then she'll turn to me and say, Dan, do you want anything? No. And then she'll go to my 3 sons, and they'll order something. And it starts out with that she just wanted a shirt or a blouse, and it ends up with me going a trailer to the ombud to pick up her Zalando order, okay? Because she knows that shipping's only going to cost her X, regardless of how much she ships. Smart. But Zalando, do they measure it? Do they measure how much Maria Crewe, I'll give her name away, actually spends? Doubt it, but they should do, and so should you. It has a huge effect. So please, 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 measure your Rosie. And if you want some help to do it, I've got a fantastic team that are only too willing to come and talk to you about how you can do it, some of the things you should think about, okay? They're all outside, they're in here at the moment, they're gonna be the ones that clap the loudest, otherwise they don't get paid. But they'll be outside later on as well, only too willing to talk to you, okay? Why is this important? Not only are you missing out on money, but when I visit merchants, I meet logistics managers. Do you know what logistics managers are measured on? How much it costs. They don't care about the customer experience. And I apologize to all logistics managers if there's any in here now, I'm really sorry. They don't care about the customer experience. The only thing they care about is how much it costs. And you as e-commerce managers that are in charge of the customer experience, you should be challenging them and saying, hey, wait a minute. they're not representing our brand, so we need to look at something else. So not only are you losing money through sales, but you're potentially losing your reputation and all the hard work that you've put in. Yeah? This is what we want you to have, right? This is what we all want. A happy, smiling, packaged receiver being served by a happy, smiling, and environmentally friendly courier. Either that or he's a pretty bad driver, one or the other. So that's what we all want to achieve, because that represents your brand. So I'm going to leave you with these two challenges. And I want you to come and challenge us outside to help you with these two areas. So it wasn't logistics, it wasn't boring, I hope. It was a little bit sexy, right? And I hope you had a good time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. There are flowers for you. I'm so happy to hear, and I hope you can pass on my shout-out to Elisabeth on Östermalm in Stockholm.
I can.
Your colleague.
I will.
She is the most amazing DHL person ever.
What's her second name? What's her surname?
No, I don't want to, you don't
want to
her
tell
out.
him?
No.
Okay,
and
we'll
we're just on a first-name basis, which
right.
I think says everything,
Okay.
right?
There's only quite a few people that work at DHL.
You will know. People know about this person. Also, I'm still traumatized about the video since I ship fine jewelry and diamonds in handmade boxes. So that's going to
We'll have a chat afterwards.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will. And I'm also very curious, and I hope a lot of you are, on how to measure it. But you can help.
We can help.
Yes.
And we're willing to help.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.